I've helped dozens of families and young professionals relocate here, and I've seen firsthand which neighborhoods actually deliver on both lifestyle and long-term value depending on the person. In this video, I'm going to show you specific neighborhoods in the Phoenix Metro that are the best for our lifestyles, depending on family or young professionals, or if you're someone looking to work remote in a more budget-friendly area. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly which one could be right for you. Here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to be going over the type of avatar that I'm talking about in the moment. We're going to be going over the neighborhoods that I'd recommend, some of the amenities or things you can look forward to, some of the convenience factors, and then I'll give you the data of what it's actually like to live there. Because if you don't know this ahead of time, you're going to spend months driving around, second guessing yourself, and risk overpaying for a place that doesn't really fit your lifestyle. And there might be one city on this list in particular that will shock you. I'm Cole with Living Phoenix Metro. I help people just like you buy and sell homes across Arizona. If you're looking to move into Arizona, I have a relocation guide linked in the description below. All right, let's dive in. These are going to be the specific neighborhoods I think are the best options for anyone relocating to the Phoenix Metro right now. So the first one that we're going to be talking about is young professionals. Tempe is going to be one of the best places to start out, specifically between Hughes Acres and Papago Park. Hughes Acres is right around here, same with Meyer Park, and then this is that Papago Park area that I am talking about. In Tempe, Arizona, you've got the energy of ASU right in the middle of town with Mill Avenue, which means there's going to be plenty of restaurants, coffee, nightlife, and gyms to keep you busy. With that, you're also going to get the Tempe job market, from the university, technology companies, construction, and healthcare being the biggest opportunities. You can see some of the employers I have here like ADP, State Farm, Chase, Wells Fargo, GoDaddy, Cigna Healthcare, Honeywell, Microsoft, Amazon, Carvana, Robinhood, and so much more. Tempe is going to be a really great tech hub along with Mesa, Arizona. Personally, I lived in the Hughes Park, Meyer Park area here, Hughes Acres. I actually lived right here on Concordia, which is funny to see a home for sale. These neighborhoods are pretty similar, as well as the Papago Park area. I think depending on the lifestyle that you want in Tempe, whether that is going to be, closer to the city of Mill Avenue, closer to downtown, closer to Tempe Town Lake, or you want something that is a little bit more suburban, quote unquote, while still being in Tempe, that is going to change what you do. In Tempe, there's a lot of things to do, like hiking. You have the Desert Botanical Garden, you've got Mill Avenue, you've got Tempe Marketplace, Tempe Town Lake, and then you've also got spring training games, which Arizona is one of the few states that has MLB spring training games, and you're going to be able to see a lot of those, from the Cubs to the Angels. It is a fantastic time living in Tempe, Arizona as a young professional. Generally speaking, if I look at my list here and I go, I want a minimum of $100,000 in pricing, and I want to go a max of $500,000 here, that's just to make sure that I don't get any junk, but I still am getting the majority of the homes. Tempe is going to be a little bit less expensive than places like Scottsdale, like Gilbert, like Chandler, so it can be surprisingly affordable. But the trade-off is, because you're in that ASU area, you're going to have a different mix of tenants. So if you're going here onto this map view, let me pick one that I'll be familiar with that I was talking about here. So I lived on Concordia Street, which is going to be not necessarily this house, but I can use it as an example's sake. This one on Broadmoor, $469. It's not a bad looking house at all. The thing that you're going to be mixed with, though, is this street is going to have some very long-term tenants, some people that have been here for a very long time. You're also going to have people that are, well, frankly, college students, and you're going to have a lot more partying. So this street in particular was nothing crazy, but if I go down here and actually put my little guy on Concordia, this house here, I believe, had maybe fraternity parties. It's hard to tell. There was just purple lighting that was coming down the streets. Who's to say what it really is? And then you've also got another one right here, which never had any frat parties, but you're like, what is this house doing in Tempe, Arizona? It kind of sticks out because it looks like a palace. So Tempe can be very split in the demographics. That's going to be the trade-off. You're going to have some of these neighborhoods that are going to be a bit hit or miss depending on what they have. This one in particular had a lot of parties as well. This one on the street, it just was never maintained. Half the time there was lawn chairs sticking out of it. You can see here how it has changed from this street view, from this street view. So that is going to be the thing with Tempe, Arizona. So if you're looking for something that is quiet, family-friendly, Tempe is not necessarily going to be the fit for you. But if you're looking for something that, as maybe a young professional or a young family who wants affordability, fun, and the access to the rest of the valley, Tempe is the place to be. Next up, if you're starting a family, I would look no further than Eastmark, Arizona. Eastmark is one of those developments that has been in the mix for a very long time. If we're going further out from Tempe now, Eastmark is going to be down in East Mesa. Whoops. Little quirks of the tools here. Eastmark is going to be this area here. It has grown a lot through the time, so I'm going to be a little bit broad with it just because how much it has expanded. I grew up here in this area. There's Bella Via, there is Meridian Point, but then Eastmark here was all dirt and there was not a single thing developed, and now it's becoming this really beautiful family neighborhood that it's so hard to show you because the satellite view is so old. But you are seeing here, there is a fishing pond, there's a bunch of greenery, there's a bunch of these Ramada Park areas, so you can see all these areas. Another park right here, you got another park here, you've got a church, you've got another park here. Then there's also a water park that is being worked on that is going to be a little bit further down. You've got right here an event community center. Eastmark is going to be one of those areas that is absolutely perfect for families. The homes typically are newer, they're more modern, and they're designed for family living. You're going to find these open floor plans, you're going to find a lot of community pools, neighborhoods that feel like they are built for kids to ride bikes around. There's a skate park, there's a water park, there's a climbing park, there's 18-hole disc golf, there's clubs and programs, there's Steadfast Diner, Steadfast Farm, there's a library. You can see that this is the website for Eastmark specifically, and if I go here to Life at Eastmark, these are a lot of the things that I'm talking about. It is a place that is even promoted as being family friendly. The schools, if I'm being honest, in Eastmark are B rated, but that is okay because it's Arizona. I hate to say it, Arizona does not have that great of public education. If you're looking for the absolute highest and best education in the state, you're going to want to look to a private school. I would like to say that I turned out okay as someone who went to Gilbert public schools, so I don't think it's all that bad. I just want to be super transparent with you that though it is B-, it would still be considered a good school as far as Arizona standards go. Most families that I talk to in Arizona are accepting of that fact, and then they pick their neighborhood based on the things that they can do for their kids, and that is a lot of the community vibe that Eastmark absolutely nails. They've expanded the areas with splash pads, pools, community centers, and then these are some of the homes that are going to be for sale in Eastmark. If I'm still within this budget, I will say that you're probably going to have to push it to maybe 800 if you want to go for some of these larger homes that Eastmark has to offer. There are these that are going to be more townhome style that are budget friendly. $385 is really not terrible for what you're going to be getting in the area. You can see here, it isn't bad looking by any means. This is going to be some of that kitchen area. It might be a little bit tighter of a space, but it is still more than enough that you might need. If you're a family that's a little bit larger and you want something bigger, you can see as we go down, you get a lot more space, like 3,700 square foot for this one on Sheffield. You've got another one for 3,300, and then 106th Place. This one is 3,700 square feet. So this is the style of home that you can expect in Eastmark. There are some 2 stories, but there's also a lot of these 1 stories with this really big open floor concept that you can have a living room, dining room, and then big sliding glass doors. As we get into some of these more expensive ones, you can see that the island has adjusted a little bit. You might get into a 2-story, and then there is a lot more of this flex space in between your dining and your front living area. Your backyards, there aren't going to be the world's largest, but it is everything that you might need for a family because the main point of this neighborhood is that you are out and about inside of the community. Next up, if you're looking for someone that is maybe a little more luxury lifestyle seeking, if you have someone that has a bigger budget for your spend, then you are still going to love Eastmark and still have a lot of potential there. But you might be looking for something like Arcadia, something like Central Phoenix, something like Scottsdale that's going to give you a little bit more of the upscale lifestyle in dining, shopping, and then maybe even golf if that's something that you're into. There is still golf in the East Valley, but it is nowhere near the level of golf that comes to Scottsdale. And before we move on, a quick reminder, if you're thinking about moving to the Phoenix Metro, I put together a free relocation guide that covers neighborhoods, schools, market trends, and a ton of local tips and tricks that you might find helpful. You can grab it right now using the link in the description, and it is completely free. This is something that's going to help you save time and stress and help you figure out your move. So with that being further ado, let's get back into the video. If you're raising a family in Arizona and you want that luxury lifestyle, of course we're going to touch on Scottsdale, but the two that might not jump out to you immediately would be Arcadia and Central Phoenix. Arcadia is going to be this area in 85018. Typically, you're going to be talking about it by the canal. So for the most part, Arcadia is going to be considered by this canal, a little bit of Indian School, and then up to Camelback. I'm going to go a little bit further north as well, just to get some of these mountain homes because they're absolutely sweet. But this would be kind of considered the Arcadia area. I'm going to remove my max budget because this is now in that luxury and more expensive area. And let's just go ahead and look at some of these homes, especially on these calle streets. So the lifestyle that you're having in Arcadia is tree-lined streets, and that's something that I really want to show you directly through just going on the street view. So first, you can see Camelback Mountain, really, really beautiful views here. Let's go ahead and I still like this Cayo Ventura, but let's go Cayo Camellia. This one is I want to say something that they're offering as a new construction build. It is not actually done yet, but let's get our guy on the road. So you can see this is from 2025. I don't know whose camera it was taking on this. This looks like some of the world's worst quality ever, and that's okay. But look how many trees you're seeing. You can see there is a lot of new construction development happening. That is just something that goes with this neighborhood. These are some of the older homes, some of the bigger lots. You can see Camelback Mountain peeking through. And then let's get a little bit deeper into it as we go more north. Can we go to this one? So this is a $10 million home. This is what you can expect in Arcadia. These homes are stunning. What I really want to show you, though, is the neighborhood. This is what you can expect. There is a lot of greenery, a lot of these big farmhouse-style homes. Again, you have the mountains. You even have wood roofs that are super popular here. This is going to be something that is different from a lot of other cities in Arizona. They're typically more expensive. There's a lot more maintenance to it, but they are super pretty. You can see here another wood roof, another wood roof, another wood roof, and Camelback Mountain. Beyond the tree-lined streets, you're also going to find highly rated schools in Arcadia. You're going to find friendly neighborhoods and prime location with Camelback Mountain, like I showed you in this street view. The dining scene here is also fantastic. There's everything with high-end restaurants to trendy brunch spots, and there are places like La Grande Orange or Chelsea's Kitchen for some of the fan favorites. You also are going to have the proximity to Biltmore in Old Town Scottsdale. You are only around, 7 minutes away from both of those. You're going to have AJ's, Safeway, Fry's, and this Lifetime is by far the nicest Lifetime that is in Arizona. It is multi-story. There is a massive pool on top. There are all of the accoutrements that you could ever imagine. This is essentially our Equinox of Arizona. There are Lifetimes across the valley, but the one in Biltmore is the one you want to go to if you're looking for the absolute best. Next up is an area that you might not consider at all if you were in the search for a luxury area home, but it's one that I think you're sleeping on, which is actually going to be the Central Phoenix Between the Sevens corridor. So I'm going to start at Indian School, I'm going to go to 7th Street, and then I'm going to go over here to 7th Ave, and then I'm going to pick here in this little pocket that is Uptown Phoenix. This area is going to be a little bit pricier, but it's not going to be nearly the same as something like Scottsdale or even something like Arcadia. So we can go ahead and let's look at this one on Palo Verde. There's going to be one of the most expensive ones in the area. This is not necessarily going to be the only area that you can go in this pocket if you're still looking for some of that luxury lifestyle. You can go up a little bit further north, a little bit wider, a little bit more east, a little more west, a little more south. Generally speaking, though, Bethany home to Indian School, this is going to be a really lovely pocket. You can see that the home, it's a beautiful one-story, a lot of character to it. You're still going to get some of those Phoenix arches, the Phoenix fireplaces. You're going to get a lot more of these bigger lots that came with the area here. This one in particular, let's see if we can see it. You are right here on the cul-de-sac, and if we go to Street View, this is what that neighborhood will look like. A lot more of these custom homes. They're all, for the most part, one story unless they've been redone. There's a lot of community behind these homes because someone that has the money to live in this style of Phoenix, you're gonna have to have a bigger budget, but you're gonna want to live here as well. So you can see there's a lot of Christmas decorations. There's a lot of people celebrating the holidays. This one is something that where a lot of people come together, but there's also a really big mix of architecture here because there have been some of these new constructions. So this street on a wagon wheel is one that I actually showed a property to back in the day, maybe a year or two ago. And you're going down, you're seeing a lot more of these farmhouse style homes, which is super standard, modern. You can see this one is a new construction based on the map here. But the home that I showed was this one right here on wagon wheel. As you're going down, you start to see this super modern style home, and I've actually got it pulled up here just to show you how unique this home is. As you go inside, big doors, massive wood beams, super tall ceilings, and funny enough, this is actually an upgrade from when it sold the first time. So we actually put an offer on this home, and then we lost it to a different buyer. And now I'm curious if they went through and changed all this. So originally, here were the photos. You can see metal standing seam roof, big door, concrete floors, super open floor plan. This was a modern, like an artist's style home. The kitchen was tucked away in the corner here. All of these LEDs you can control from a panel. The backyard was really cool on this one with the fireplace that goes all the way around. Really modern, maybe even a little brutalist. So it's interesting to see how different it changed. Obviously still very pretty, but the floors no longer concrete. It's just a different vibe, right? Let's check out what they do with the backyard real quick. Office, super cool looking. Backyard, a lot more greenery. They got rid of some of those less aggressive touches, meaning it just comes across a little friendlier now. A little less rock, it looks like. Or a little well-placed camera photos. So it's interesting, but that is Central Phoenix. There's also even Spanish-style homes in Central Phoenix. These are just going to be the things that are going to be between the sevens, generally speaking. They're going to be a little less expensive. You're going to have a lot more culture, generally speaking, and then a lot more unique architecture that isn't the same kind of cookie-cutter, bougie sort of look that you're going to get in something like Beverly Hills. This area is full of unique properties, historic homes, remodeled ranches, and modern builds all side by side. It's near great schools, and you'll get one of the most authentic living experiences in the valley being in Uptown. Now, if you want a Scottsdale zip code, that's where stories get a little bit different. If you're going to be in Scottsdale, I would definitely check out North Scottsdale near the DC Ranch area. You're going to get a little bit into Greyhawk. This is going to have a lot of premium private golf clubs. You're also going to be really close to Westworld and all things there is to do in Scottsdale. Kierland, you're going to have Princess. You've also got the Scottsdale Air Park if you're looking for private flights. You're also going to have Barrett-Jackson, TPC. Right here is Westworld. Here's Greyhawk. Here's DC Ranch. So I would go, generally speaking, in this sort of area if you're looking for a home in this part of town. These are going to be really great. I'm being a little sloppy with the map, but that's just because you understand the point that I'm going for here. In Scottsdale, you're going to have private golf clubs. You're going to have Kierland Commons, Scottsdale Quarter, Fairmont Princess, and the Westin Kierland. These have also really good family events. The Princess, I believe, puts on fake snow and does a whole Christmas celebration for children. You've got Westworld, TBC Scottsdale, like I mentioned, and then you have gated communities and trails and parks. The trade-off on this one is going to be super, super simple. You are paying a premium to live here. Everything is going to be buttoned up to a T. These are just the prices. I mean, this one's 14 million, 9 million, 7 million, 6 million. The lowest that I'm going, if I'm scrolling down, you can get something in the twos. And this looks like it's even something a little unique. I couldn't even tell you if this is a single family. Let's just do a full inspect here. This is actually a townhouse. So for $2 million, you're actually getting an attached townhome. Still, it's incredibly nice in a great part of town, but it's a townhome for $2 million. So this is just the thing that you're going to be understanding you're paying for. You can go in less expensive areas, but if money is not an option and you're looking at areas like Arcadia, Central Phoenix, but you really want a Scottsdale zip code, I would go DC Ranch or Greyhawk area. Now, if you're a value-focused or remote worker, I would say Apache Junction is absolutely slept on right now. There is Santan Valley. You also have Queen Creek. These are two areas that are kind of going back and forth for that value purchase. Queen Creek is rising in pricing, but Santan Valley is continuing to be a little more budget friendly. But the issue with Santan Valley is you are so far from absolutely everything. So here is going to be the main metro, and then you go down here, which see these roads here, these ones, these are freeway systems. There is none going down to Queen Creek. They expanded the 24 here, but there's nothing that goes to Queen Creek. So you have to take right here, Ellsworth Road into Queen Creek, and then you have to continue that down into Santan Heights, into Santan Valley. You are just so, look, incredibly far from everything in the valley. Apache Junction, on the other hand, you are still further east than you may like because you're still kind of on this far right side of everything. But look, you have access to the 60 right here to go directly into the 202 or loop all the way down into the 101. If you're in Apache Junction, you have way more accessibility than you would in places like Santan Valley. There's also new construction homes that are incredibly affordable right now with really great rate options. You're even able to get some of these homes into the threes. So for example, if I go right down into here, this is one of the communities, which by the way, if you're looking at these communities and you want real estate representation, but you do not have one, feel free to reach out to me directly and I would love to help. If you walk into a new build the first time without a real estate agent, they will not let you have one after the fact, which means their best interests are coming in first before yours. So if I scroll down, this one closed for $399. This is active for $399, which is considerably affordable in the given environment that we're in. This is a $400,000 home. These are mostly renders of the area, so let's get one that might be resold from someone who purchased it. Let's see here. Could we find one that's already been built? So here's an example. This one's a little more expensive, different floor plan though. I'm sure there's different upgrades. New builds can definitely add up if you don't have the right incentives. Remind you that this is $430,000, but they might have gotten $15,000 to $30,000 back for all of these items. Maybe they got a rate buy down. So there's ways that these can be a little deceiving. But it's really not a bad looking home if you're looking for a starter home in Arizona. Big open floor plan, you know, carpeted bedrooms. The bathrooms are good looking. And then let's go into the backyard here, which it doesn't look like it has many pictures for us. So what we can do is go here to satellite, and you can just kind of take a look. I really don't know why it's doing this whole 3D thing. The lot lines are not massive between these, but something to consider. The 1-story versus the 2-story, you can see here, it kind of ramps up on the very bottom. Blue would be kind of middle ground, green is 2-story, and then the far left is going to be the biggest 1-story, I imagine. If you get a smaller home or 2-story, you have a bigger backyard. But for the most part, you're getting a brand new home for a starter home, or if you're looking to work remote and you don't really care. The trade-off here is going to be distance. You are still further from a lot of things. I think it's better than Santan Valley, but if you work in Chandler, you're going to be about 35 minutes away. So this is great for first-time home buyers or great for remote workers. And lastly, if you're someone that wants a lot more of the historic character and charm that comes to the valley, I would check out Willow Historic District. Willow is going to be a very specific historic district in the valley. There are other choices you can get into. All of the surrounding of this area are different, but Willow, I believe, is one of the most beautiful districts in this area. If we go down these streets, you have palm trees everywhere. You have very specific 1920s to 1940s style. These are going to be homes that are going to give you some of the Tudors or the bungalows. And it is also a protected district, which means that there is going to be this style for hopefully ever. And it's not going to become these 2-story Beverly Hills style homes. These homes also can have basements. They can have really big backyards. They can have guest houses. You're going to be right next to a lot of the really fun things to do in downtown Phoenix, like Durant Steakhouse. You got Rough Rider Speakeasy. You got Roosevelt Row. You've got the Central Ave Corridor Dining, which I swear I can spell. You've also got the Phoenix Art Museum. You've got the Japanese Friendship Garden. I'm noticing here that my things that I had here did not update, so you can ignore those. But for the most part, what you're getting in this area is going to be historic homes, and you're going to be doing it for the love of the style that you're getting. They're not going to be perfectly well kept every single time. Maintenance might be a little bit higher because of what you're getting into, but if you keep these homes and you do them right, they are like no other in the valley. They are stunning. So there you have it. This was a bit of a long video, and I hope it covered the avatar that you were if you're looking to relocate into the Arizona market in the next, call it 3 months to 2 years. The neighborhoods in the Phoenix Metro that actually deliver are going to be these in the list below. Tempe is great for young professionals. Eastmark and Mesa is great for growing families. Arcadia, Central Phoenix, and Scottsdale are fantastic for someone looking for that luxury lifestyle with their own character of their own. Apache Junction is going to be great for value, and Willow is going to be perfect for history and charm lovers. The key is connecting what matters most to the right place and all the variables that coincide with it. So if you're looking to purchase a home in Arizona, my partner and I, Templeton Walker, would love to help. There's a link in the description below for a relocation guide and another one if you'd like to work with us directly. This was a long video. If you watched it this far, thank you so much. Comment down below with any questions, and I will see you on the next Daily Arizona Update. Peace out, y'all.